Hello, viewers at home. It's good to have you on this program, Women's World. I'm Motola Adokai Ogundele. Today we're looking at something that is very, very important. We're looking at women in crime control. Women in crime control. We know that the society is something else these days. We have a lot that is happening. We have all kind of things happening, and I think a woman or women, they all have a lot of role to play, or we all have a lot of role to play to curb out this crime. And with me in the studio today is a lovely lady that will be telling us more about crime control. She's from the NDLEA. I'm having Mrs. Fumilayo Bamishaye. You're welcome to this program, ma'am.
Thank you.
So now we're looking at women in crime control. So before then, but who is a woman?
Yeah, I would say a woman is someone that is regarded as a mother, a sister, could be an aunt. But on a wider scale, we can say it's a mentor, a guardian, a pilot of life, because every human being
Comes through.
comes through that gender.
Wow.
It's either by surrogacy or by whatever means, something comes from a woman to be combined with the man's donation of cells to make a living being. So a mother is a mentor, is a guardian, and is a role model.
Okay.
Yes.
So how powerful can you say a woman is?
Oh, the role of women, it cannot be overemphasized. To start with, women are the first line of socialization in the life of a child. Where from birth, the woman begin to pass on a lot of things to the newborn child. As a matter of fact, it is established that women begin to communicate right from when the baby is still in the fetus. And when the child comes out, the education begins. Through the process of socialization, you begin to teach that child how to do this, how to do that. And as they grow, ideally, women are the one that champion how a child should live, what code should be adhered to, and a whole lot of things. What about upkeep, maintenance? Sanity of the home depends a whole lot on it. And then at a larger scale also, women have an important role in maintaining peace within the society. They say when you empower a woman, you empower a nation. So it goes without saying that women are very, very the role of women are very, very crucial.
So now with this role of women that you just talked about, that the role of women cannot be overemphasized. Why is it, what can you say about crime? Because we're looking at women in crime control.
It is sad to note that women folk seem to be losing grip or losing focus, forgetting their roles in the society. What is affecting the whole society right now, moral decadence, high rate of crime, even including drug abuse, is fast gaining grounds even among women folk. And that can also be traceable to the fact that the society is becoming more heterogeneous, cultural values are fast eroded, things that used to matter culturally no longer matter. And women now want to take the role of men, and even economically women have assumed the role of the head of the family, and as such their primary role of nurturing the family and maintaining
has been dropped,
have been set aside. Many women who are CEOs hardly have time for the family. They believe their money can do the job, and that nature cannot exist in vacuum. So it always comes with its own consequences, and I think that's what we see today.
So how do we balance it? Because you just talked about women being CEOs and all that, women being at the top of their careers. How can we manage it? Manage our home, manage our our job, because you can't say women should not work. You said women are breadwinners sometimes,
Yeah. I want to commend you specially for what you are doing right now, because it's one of the steps toward correcting the anomaly in the society.
Thank you.
I think around the world, attention has been drawn to the role of women also. Last month, we have 2 dates set aside for women. One was Mothering Day, and the other one was International Day for the women. These 2 days were specially launched to draw attention to the role of women, the needs, the concerns, and how to help women return to its original role, and function within the society. That is on one side. The two is that everyone, all hands must be on deck to ensure that women have proper identity and not be confused with the happenings around. And there is also a current attention on women empowerment, because most women who have taken to crime always blame it on economic hardship. Some of them are, and some of them fall into crime because they were lured into it. Some have also been forced into it,
or influenced, I guess.
Or influenced, yes, that's what I mean. And as such, when we create awareness and education such as this, some women will begin to be enlightened. And then at the grassroots, we also reach out. For example, in my office, NDLA, our current chairman seriously encouraged that we reach out to all strata of the society, including the women's society. And as such, we are open to take up invitation to religious gatherings to create awareness about drug abuse. And also, associations do invite us to their occasions to create awareness and enlighten the women as to what constitutes drug abuse or drug crime, and how to avoid it, how to overcome the challenges of harmful drug abuse.
Now let's hear some of those how to overcome drug abuse. No, actually, let's even start with what is drug abuse to women. How can drug abuse affect women? Women, like you said, we have the potential to give birth to children and all that. So what is the effect of drug on us first?
Like I've said on this platform in time past, drug abuse is the harmful use of drugs or psychotropic substances or some social items that are used for drug in ways that are not socially acceptable or medically prescribed.
Okay.
So this understanding will guide us to know how women get into drugs. There are different, according to NDLA Act, Cap N30 of 2004 as amended, there are several issues that surround drug crime.
Okay.
We have drug trafficking, we have drug harmful use or possession. We also have illegal sales and all whatnot. There are some women who have fallen into one or more of these crimes, as a result of ignorance, as a result of
I want to feed my children.
Financial hardship. Some also fall into harmful drug use habits as a result of maybe health condition. For example, there are some psychotropic substances that may be prescribed for treatment of certain serious ailments, and in the process, if care is not taken or there is no proper supervision, one may tend to abuse drug. For example, substances such as codeine is grossly being abused currently in some part of the country where there is high rate of terrorism, because these women find it difficult to sleep at night because of things that happen around them, and in order to induce sleep, they begin to abuse substances that make them dependent on those items. So there are a lot of ways women get into drug crime. And that is why it is important for us to create awareness on all platforms available to us as to how a woman should watch out. And then a woman may be directly involved in drug crime or through their families. Talk about some women whose husbands are into drugs, or their children somehow find themselves in the habit of drug trafficking or drug harmful use. All this affects women one way or another, and they impact on his function, on her function. So women need help. They need help.
So now, as women are home builders.
Yes.
How can women help their children not to get into drug? Because sometimes the women, like these days, we find that women are busy going out and other looking for what the children will eat or to keep the family. How can women? Because we find out that a lot of young children are into drugs. So how can women help their children not to get into drug?
The first step is to be informed. If you are not informed, you can hardly pass on what you know. You can't give what you don't have. So it starts with information. Women need to be informed. We are in the process of taking the campaign to some traders, market women. I have been, by God's grace, on behalf of Ijebu Ode Area Command, I've been mandated to take the campaign to the Yalojas, and I have even visited the Yaloja of Ijebu Ode. It's just left for us to get sponsors and all that for the program to hold. Maybe once in a month we could go to marketplaces and even to different association, church programs, or Islamic gatherings that are exclusive for women. So we are looking for partners, really, and so that we can take this information to them. When a woman is informed, then she will know how best to pass on the message to her children. And then sometimes some women find themselves in difficult situation when the drug issue or problem in the family had escalated before they get to know. When they are informed, they will be able to identify when the problem starts, and they will quickly know where to go to seek help in order to nip that problem in the bud. So information is key. And secondly, women have to join hands together. It is high time women realize that they need to hold each other arm to arm, and work together in fighting crime. Because when there is a problem in a home as a result of crime, women are worse hit. Because if a woman's husband is in the prison, she will automatically become pressured with the issues of life. There are some things a woman cannot do at home. Let's give it to our men.
Yes, it's true.
Especially in the area of disciplining a child, it takes a whole lot for a woman to be the mother and the father, because every child needs a father figure. And so if you are widowed or you are a single parent, you still need someone around, maybe your brother or your uncle or your neighbor, who can help you instill discipline in your children. So that's why we have to come together to work as a community.
Some women try to cover up when something's like happening.
Yes, some women conspire to cover up a crime being committed in their home because they are afraid of losing their family or their children, or what the society will say. I will say to such women to please come out and seek help. Everything is not about enforcement only. NDLA is well armed to also provide counseling services and treatment and rehabilitation where drug challenges exist. So we provide counseling. Yes, we do. So they should reach out to us. They should come forward. Religious leaders should empower women to organize themselves into small units of people that can bring in resource persons from time to time. Everybody cannot go to school. Let's face it. But that does not mean that we cannot, help ourselves to acquire information and education on certain issues of life.
Okay, sometimes women might not, some people might not even know, or some mothers might not even know the kind of things that are even called drugs. They might see some things with their children, they might just think it's normal, like maybe
Substances or whatever.
So what are those things that women should really
Look out
yes.
for? Well, the first thing is every mother, every woman should realize that they are the first line of education of their children, and they should not take that for granted. Irrespective of your job, irrespective of what you do, you should create time to spend with your family and watch out for signs. And I will give us examples of those signs you can watch out for.
Okay.
For a child who is into drug, there are different types of drugs. It can be hard drugs.
Children, even,
yes, it can be hard drug, it can be social drug, and it can be pharmaceutical drugs or medical drugs. Irrespective, there are certain, every form of drug can be abused. I mean, social drug example is cola nut, example beer, snuff. They can be abused. I'm sure you know. When someone take excessive alcohol, he becomes drunk and he can commit crime under the influence of alcohol. The health can be affected also, you know. And for hard drug, of course, that one attracts the full weight of law. If someone is caught with cocaine, for example, heroin, or even Indian hemp, cannabis, sativa, such a person is culpable and can be arrested and prosecuted. So, but the thing is that for someone who is into injection drug, IDU, you may not see him smoking. You may not see sign of him having rolling paper in the house. So it is time for you to know that certain drugs have different modes of use. For someone who is into injection, a child that is not a medical student, or even when he is, he's still not a graduate yet and is not a practicing medical personnel, but is surrounded with syringes in the house, it calls for questioning. And for example, take time to enter your children's room. Though when they are adults, you also have to apply courtesy, you know, but however, you need to be your children's friend to be able to know or observe when something has gone amiss. So sometimes some parents may have to take time, even when you don't wash their clothes as teenagers or adults, take time to go into their wardrobe, pry into some things they do. Borrow their laptop, for example, to tell them, teach me some things. And in the process, watch out for things you first see when you put on their phones or their computer. Be their friend on social media. Follow them on all their social media platforms. And so that you can have a peep into their private world. Somehow, they are not always perfect. There will always be a sign somewhere. And for our husbands, get interested in what your husband says. Not all the time you attack and attack and attack. No. Not all the time you are always sniffing around alone. But get interested. Ask questions. There are women who, after they have had children, find out that their husbands are into crime. And it's pathetic when we see such women. But somehow they share in the blame. Because when you are dating a man, when you marry them, and you just don't get interested, all you know is bring money. Our young girls now, they no longer want to do any handwork. Nobody wants to be a sales rep or a sales girl, you know, because they would rather follow internet fraudsters or some drug peddlers, because they want to wear the designer clothes and use the designer phones, iPhones, and the rest of them. And because of that, they don't go for you go better. They want to follow the have arrived.
Yes, sir.
In the process, they end up marrying them, because you will get pregnant for that individual, and he may insist you must have the child for me, and you don't want to have children out of wedlock, so you marry him, not knowing you are marrying into criminality. So it's high time we rearrange our priorities and also watch out. It's high time we look after ourselves and watch out about things we get ourselves into.
Okay.
And be really interested in the home itself.
So I want you to tell us more about how a woman can still manage her home.
I don't know if I'm well equipped for this, sir. But then, as a student of psychology, I believe that we should find a balance. Whatever we do, be it as a market woman or as a professional like you and I, we should find a balance.
Okay.
And as such, education has a key role to play in this. You should always try to upgrade yourself in whatever you do. Equip yourself.
Even when you want to monitor your children, like
Yes.
you said, through their phones and all that,
Yes.
you have to be educated.
You have to be educated in certain things. For a woman who was never brought up to cook, show interest in cooking and go for training. There is no limit to education. Go for training. Empower yourself. Empower yourself. Be financially free. When you are financially free, it makes the job of
Easy.
a woman easy, and it also helps you to balance. For example, if you have a job or a vocation, you will be able to provide support in
Which
the
will
home.
not lead the children to crime.
Yes,
Even you yourself.
you won't be under pressure. Your husband will not be under pressure. And then you create a balance. Like I said, there is always a time for religious activities in my home, and there is time for socialization, for social events. From time to time I try to socialize. Okay, I attend family functions, as my job permits, and I try to make sure that the home front does not suffer. So you create a balance.
Okay.
But most importantly, you have to be informed, be educated, and be financially empowered.
Okay, your last take in this program for women that are really trying to control crime.
Yes, I will advise any woman in enforcement job to please try as much as possible to let charity begin from your home. The worst that can happen to any woman is, after all said and done, you have succeeded in contributing your quota to the society and your family suffers. So please, try as much as possible to take care of your home front. Make sure you yourself, you are an epitome of what you preach. Be a role model in your society, to your family first, and then your immediate environment. And then at work, be disciplined. It's important to be disciplined. Let it be said of you that you are up and doing, you are punctual, you are articulate, and you are also in line with the happenings around you. Be informed and try and create balance. It will all go well.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming, and thank you, viewers at home, for being there. You've heard it all. We should try and balance it. Not just women in the force. I'm thinking of every woman. You should try and balance the way you manage your home. Try and stay away from crime. Check out what she has said so far. Identify the things that can lead to crime and all that. And also with this, we believe we will have a peaceful and a good society that is comfortable for every one of us to stay in. Also, come your way again on this same program next week. Bye bye.